Today our lecture is blood coagulation, right?
Yes, sir.
Yesterday we discussed RH grouping, right? So before discussing blood coagulation, we will recap what is blood. We already discussed blood. Blood has two components. One is one is plasma. Second is formed elements. Right?
Yes, sir.
You know, this blood, it consists of two components. One is plasma, which is a liquid component, and another is formed elements, which constitutes the blood cells. Right? Formed elements like RBCs, erythrocytes, leukocytes, thrombocytes, and so many other cells. And this is the liquid portion, which majorly consists of proteins like albumin proteins, clotting proteins, fibrinogen, one of the proteins we have already discussed in detail. But here, the clotting, we also know that the composition of the blood and the formed element is platelets. What? Platelets, right? This platelet has got a major role in blood clot, right? Now see here, this is blood coagulation. Coagulation, if we see the definition of coagulation, it is the transformation of gel. It is the transformation of liquid blood into a solid gel. Into a solid gel, which you call clot. Right? So liquid portion जो होता है blood का, liquid blood is converted into a solid gel that you call clot. Right?
Yes, sir.
लिखो. The transformation of liquid blood into a solid gel. Into a solid gel called clot. See here, this is the structure over here, and this is the blood capillary. What? This is the blood capillary. You see this epithelial-like structure, which is called endothelium. Our topic is what? Blood coagulation, right? So this is the blood capillary. You find formed elements, and plasma. Plasma is the liquid portion of the blood, right? In which the proteins are present, like fibrinogen is one of the proteins, albumin proteins, and some other proteins like cholesterol is there. So, you know, when we suffer any injury, हमारी जब कोई injury होती है, या trauma होता है, कोई accident होता है, at that time what happens? Bleeding is there. क्या होता है? Bleeding. Actually bleeding में क्या होता है? ये जो vessel होती है, blood vessel, it gets ruptured. ये rupture हो जाती है. क्या हो जाती है? Rupture. तो that rupture area is an injury. वो क्या होता है? Injury. Right? जब injury होती है, in our blood vessel में क्या होता है कि formed elements में platelets, इस तरह का structure है platelet, if you know. These platelets are stimulated. क्या? Platelets stimulate होते हैं. See here. Injury के बाद क्या होता है? Platelets are stimulated, right? Platelets, once they are stimulated, they release a factor which is called tissue factor. क्या है? Tissue factor. Platelets stimulate होके tissue factor को release करते हैं. That is tissue factor 3. And this is also called thromboplastin. What? Thromboplastin. the tissue factor released by the platelets is called thromboplastin, right? This thromboplastin activates an enzyme which is called thrombokinase. Yeah? Thrombokinase. This thrombokinase is an enzyme in presence of calcium divalent, 2 positive, right? In presence of calcium, it converts prothrombin. It converts prothrombin into thrombin. What? This prothrombin is another enzyme, right? But it is inactive in nature. That is why it is called prothrombin, right? Prothrombin. This prothrombin is converted into thrombin. This is an active enzyme, right? This thrombin acts on fibrinogen. What? Fibrinogen is a tissue factor. Fibrinogen is a clotting factor. What? Clotting factor. It converts, this fibrinogen is converted into fibrin. What? Fibrin, right? This fibrin is an active molecule here, right? This fibrinogen forms the cross links. What? Cross linked fibrin. ये मान लो, this is the area of injury, right? See here, this fibrin, it forms cross-linked fibrin. You will find like this. यहाँ से cross-linked fibrin बन जाता है, and that comes in the area of injury. तो यहाँ से ये cross-linked fibrin meshwork बन जाता है, and finally it forms a clot. You getting it? Yes. So clotting is what? Now this blood coagulation, it is the clotting of blood. The blood that flows at the time of injury, and after some time you see the blood is stopped. And at the same time you see there is a yellowish, brownish, succum-like structure on the area of injury, right? On the area of injury, and that succum-like structure is called clot. वही clot होता है. क्या होता है? Clot. But you know the composition of clot. If you know the composition of clot, you will find these formed elements. अगर आपने देखना है कि clot में actually क्या है, what gets accumulated at the site of injury? At the site of injury, accumulate क्या होता है? You will find only the formed elements get accumulated in the clot. Formed elements. You getting it? But once this clot is completely formed, it's a complete clot. You getting it? See here, sometimes the part of the clot, छोटा सा जरा, part of the clot, ये छोटा सा clot जो है, part of the clot, it gets diffused to the blood. Blood में diffuse होता है, छोटा सा clot, and that small part of clot is called thrombus. उसको क्या कहते हैं? Thrombus. This thrombus is a very dangerous substance that gets traveled in the blood vessels. Sometimes if this thrombus travels to the blood vessels of brain, it may block the blood flow and may cause sudden death. Right? That is why this thrombus is very dangerous during the formation of clot. You getting? So again I will be repeating. There is an injury, trauma, right? So what happens after injury? Stimulates platelets, right? Stimulate platelet हो जाते हैं, they get stimulated and then they release tissue factor, right? This tissue factor, it is also called a thromboplastin, right? This thromboplastin activates an enzyme which is called a thrombokinase, right? This thrombokinase converts inactive prothrombin into thrombin. This prothrombin, it is synthesized by the liver. It is synthesized by liver. ये liver से synthesize होके blood में आता है, and then it is converted into thrombin. Then thrombin converts fibrinogen into fibrin, right? Then fibrin forms cross-linked fibrin, right? Cross-linked fibrin finally forms a polymer, that is a clot. You getting it?
Yes, sir.
But one more thing about clotting is, you might have heard about anticoagulants. What are anticoagulants? Anticoagulants. Anticoagulants are the substance that prevent clotting. Right? ये वो substance होते हैं हमारे बॉडी में भी प्रेजेंट है नेचुरली. ये वो सब्सटेंस हैं जो क्लॉटिंग को ब्लॉक कर देते हैं, जो क्लॉटिंग को स्टॉप करते हैं, एंड द सब्सटेंस आर कॉल्ड एंटीकोगुलेंट्स. वन ऑफ द एंटीकोगुलेंट यू माइट हैव हर्ड अबाउट हेपारिन. Right? Heparin is one of the anticoagulant. You getting it? Heparin is what? It is anticoagulant. You know why our blood is not coagulated in our blood vessels?
Because of anticoagulants.
Exactly, because of the anticoagulant present in our heparin. That is why inside the vessels the blood present is not coagulated. It is because of this heparin. You getting it?
Yes,
That
sir.
anticoagulant. One of the chemical that is called sodium citrate. Sodium citrate. क्या है? Sodium citrate or EDTA. What? EDTA. This is sodium citrate and EDTA. They also block clotting sometimes. This blood sample that you give to the doctor is present in the small test tubes. You know, when you give blood sample to any clinical person, the person who is in the clinics, and you are providing sample to doctor, and that blood is present in the test tubes. Test tube में होता है, right? ये test tube मान लो, right? So you see the blood in the test tube, the blood sample. Blood sample यहाँ है test tube में, but not clotted. यहाँ clotted नहीं है. Why? Because of the presence of sodium citrate or EDTA. Okay? Ethyl diamine tetra. Ethyl diamine tetra acetic acid. Right? This is EDTA. ये जो EDTA है, ये किसमें डाला जाता है? Small test tubes में. That prevents the blood clotting. Actually, this EDTA is a chelating agent. Chelating agent का मतलब है it binds calcium dipole. See here. You know, this is injury, stimulate platelets and release tissue factor. This is thrombokinase, right? From here, thromboplastin to this, you see the series of reaction. One reaction is activating another reaction. This another reaction is then activating one more another reaction, right? And that series of reactions is called cascade. And that is why sometimes it's called coagulation cascade. What? Coagulation cascade. Coagulation cascade.